What's going on, everybody? Today is a very, very, very special episode. This is the 100th episode of the Flameside Podcast. I seriously, dude, um, I always thought we'd get here. This isn't a surprise. I have nobody to thank. How about you?
Yeah, I've been spending the last hour. Oh gosh, sorry guys.
Oh,
I've been spending the
Jesus,
last
dude.
hour crying because I'm so happy about this. This has been such a thing in the works for us, 100 episodes. This is insane.
Yeah. Well, yeah, dude. I mean,
I
I
feel
just
actually
think,
I'm on top of the world.
well,
Oh
dude, I
my
just always
God.
think about how much content we've produced and how long it would take somebody to just like click play on episode one and listen through to now. And we're getting to the point where it's stretch over a day, right?
Uh, I think it would. It'd probably be close if not.
Yeah, and like that's kind of fun to think somebody could listen to us yap for 24 straight hours, you know?
That is kind of a trip, dude. Well, I mean, in all honesty, episode 30 was like kind of the point that like when we started this, I was like, I want to do 30 like at least. And this is in reality 29. And next episode is going to be 30. And
Finale? Finale question mark?
it's time for this shit to end.
Yeah,
Is that a Hugo I see on the camera right
yes,
there?
it is. I was just thinking,
God damn, he's relaxed.
yeah, he's sleepy as hell. Dude, these cats just like, I know it's like the age-old joke, oh, I bought the toy, they play with the box. These cats just lay anywhere, bro. It doesn't even look comfortable. There's like shit underneath them and stuff. Like,
He
I
looks
don't
well
know.
fed.
Okay. What the fuck?
He's getting his nutrients, it seems.
Like, what a fucked up thing to say. That's what I'm gonna say. Whenever I visit you in the future one day and you have kids or something, I'm gonna look at your kid, give you a weird look, and say he looks well fed, and you let me know how that goes over.
And
That's
they'll
fucked
they'll
up.
say, Uncle Shane, Uncle
Hmm.
Shane. Oh, we're so happy to see you, Uncle Shane.
Did you ever have friends' parents comment on your appearance when you were younger? I'm talking like very young, like 12 years old, 10 years old.
That's actually, let me think. Mostly like family and stuff would comment, like
Mm.
grandparents, you know, because I was a long hair kid back in the day. Well, I still kind of am, but man, my grandparents, when they see you with that big head of hair, they'd be like, you gotta
Uh-huh.
cut that shit. You
Yeah.
gotta cut that.
Old heads love telling you got to get rid of that nonsense.
They do not like that kind of hair.
I mean, let me tell you, not that this was when I was younger, but every time I show up around fucking folks with this burly mustache, they're always like, "What the fuck?"
They're saying
So,
you gotta get rid of it.
yeah, definitely.
I like the
Um,
mustache.
Thank you. I remember when I was like that age, I was kind of bulkier, especially like around like 10, 11 years old, and I was probably bringing it up because I was self-conscious about it at the time, but I remember at least like two different like friends, parents would try to make me feel better about it by saying, "Oh, you're not fat, you're just husky." And
Oh my God.
I'd be like, "All right, I'm not sure I needed that."
Husky is not, dude, that's not very nice.
No, I also because I always think like I just think about how I would talk about like other children, my own included, I guess, about like the way they physically look, and I just feel like you don't even gotta like bother, you know. I just feel like I would say like you don't gotta worry about all that, you know.
Well,
It's gonna
especially when
change
you're
so
that
much.
young, I feel like, a lot of
Yeah,
that
you're gonna
stuff
look
gets
so
like,
different, motherfucker.
yeah, that shit gets shaved off pretty quick.
Yeah. Um, I don't even know what I'm talking about, man. Anyway, it's Sunday morning, dude. What does Sunday morning make you feel like think of?
Sunday is funny because like I feel like progressively as the day goes on, I'm more like fuck, fuck, fuck. I gotta go to work the next day.
When do your scaries start to creep in?
I always like I see TikToks too, where it's like once it hits like 8 p.m. on a Sunday, that's when it's like, oh no.
That's call me crazy, kind of like late in the day for scaries. You don't get some scaries earlier on.
I do, but like you can kind of like push it off. Like if it's like 2, 3 o'clock, you're watching f some fucking football, and then it's like, all right, all right, all right. But once you like, I feel like post dinner, and it's like dark outside, it's like, fuck, no,
Yeah,
no.
dude. Once like the second slate of NFL games kick off and like I'll start to get some impending doom feeling, especially like if you have shit to take care of before Monday, you know?
Oh God,
Oh no, you know, and you know you got to do it before you go to bed, but
dude.
like you're not ready to think about it yet, you know?
And dude, when I went into call yesterday, I really just wanted to fucking complain about something, which is
Mhm.
work. And like, dude, so I had the Cali trip, so I had a very short week of work.
Uh-huh.
And then I came back, and then I only had that one day of work, and it was like a half day because I left because I was sick. And then I literally was off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then obviously Saturday, Sunday. And then I took off Monday as well because I had COVID. And
Well,
I
your
went
boss
back.
told you to.
Yeah, he did. And then I came back on Tuesday, dude, and like just like that adjustment back into like the work cycle and like real life cycle was like so hard for me, bro.
Hmm.
Oh my gosh, like I felt like I hadn't worked in forever and like it just felt worse than ever. And it wasn't even like particularly like really busy or anything, but it just felt so bad like adjusting back into like real life.
Yeah,
Has that ever happened to you?
definitely. I always like whenever I'm out for a while, when I was at school or at work, when I come back, I expect everybody to be like, "Let's fucking go, you're back." Nobody ever really seems to notice.
No, hell no.
um, but no, I get that. I don't know. Definitely kind of like a rough I don't know. I think me personally, I always like really fear it. I remember I think the most that I can compare it to is like going back to school after a long like week break for spring break or 2 weeks at Christmas, you know. You come back to school on the first day and it's like, oh my God. But then
Dude.
again, for days like that though, I'm like building it up in my head to where I know it's about to be like a horrible day. And then I go through the day and it's like not the worst. What I always think about that is I typically will get like no sleep on the first day back to a new routine because like whenever I don't have a routine, I stay up late. It's just what I do. And so then I'll be going to school, I'll be going to work on like 4 hours sleep, and like that
Hmm.
always sucks. But like low key, it makes the day fly by when you're that tired. Is that crazy to say?
When you're
Like,
that tired, it flies by.
yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense. I just feel like it
I
does.
mean, I've had moments like that. I've had moments like that for sure. I definitely relate to what you're saying with the sleep schedule because, like, when you take all that time off, like, you're just gonna sleep when you fucking want to and wake up when you want to, and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you have to wake up at like 7 again, and it's like,
Well, you're also
oh,
on Cali time, so you're going to bed late, 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 right?
I was, yeah. I mean, but I kind of adjusted out of that during the sickness.
Uh, did we talk about your COVID on this podcast yet?
Yeah, we talked about the COVID and Cali trip.
My bad, bro.
Yeah, we talked
God
about COVID
damn.
and Cali trip and Connecticut trip. And
Yeah,
yeah, I thought the last episode was good. But what should we talk about today? Don't you have something fun to talk about? Or
yeah. I wanted to talk about this play that I saw last night. That kind of
okay,
like it kind
yeah.
of it kind of rattled me a little
Do
bit.
you see it on Broadway?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. Okay.
Well,
Would you?
funny. So we get to the play, and my girlfriend's dad whips out the phone. He's got the tickets on the phone. They scan them. They say, "Step aside, please.
Oh,
Talk to this guy." And it's like tickets already scanned. Talking to the guy, he's like, "Unfortunately, you're the victim of a scam." So apparently, somebody's like buying a shit ton of these Broadway tickets, like with a. Okay, the way I understand it is they're getting a credit card, buying these tickets, and then their credit card is like getting canceled before anything can actually go through, and then they're reselling the tickets on StubHub or some shit. And so then her dad bought the tickets, but they're already used or something. I don't fucking know. Basically, we had to
oh
fucking.
my gosh.
So it began with the most oralist transaction in the world by my girlfriend's dad, like total, like,
Oh,
uh,
minus aura.
minus aura. I'm just kidding. Not his fault. But what was actually alpha as fuck is like while they were dealing with us, he's like, hey, Jackie, his wife, you want to go buy some more tickets over there? She goes up to the will call, buys 4 tickets, no problem. And so instant plus aura right after, so it balances out for sure. And so then we went and saw the play, and it was called Our Town. And
Our town. I'm not familiar.
yeah, I've never heard of this play before either. And damn, bro. It's all about mortality in a way and like everything. And basically the takeaway is that like everything is so pointless and everything is so meaningful at the same time, you know?
Hmm. I like that. I like that.
It's crazy. Can I kind of spoil like the main things and main themes, or do you want to
Oh
have this
yeah.
preserved?
Oh
So
yeah.
basically, and spoilers for our town. So skip ahead. I'll probably be yapping about this for like 10 minutes. So go ahead and skip ahead 10 minutes if you're on the phone or whatever. But yeah, basically, it's about this like very small town in New Hampshire, and the whole play they have this like goofy narrator taking you through it, and like being very direct with the audience, and everything feels a little offbeat the whole time. Like they do a lot of things purposefully to kind of like not necessarily unsettle you like in a way to which like you're uncomfortable, but like you're very much so like not quite as an audience member on top of the ball in what's going on around you. Like they have people like sitting in the crowd. Just one time it happened, but they have somebody sitting in the crowd who they have come up and like they're an actor. And, like,
Okay. All
they
right.
have they're walking in the aisles and stuff. Like the narrator's talking to you like this is Act One, like whatever. Like they're very much so like it's a little bit I don't want to say off-putting, but it's kind of that vibe. But anyway, it's just the themes and the messages and the actions are delivered to you in such a matter-of-fact way. It's very crazy. But so basically, what kind of like ends up happening in the third act was kind of like the crux of the messaging is you kind of follow this young couple who get married and it's very sweet. They're very much so like in love and you skip to the third act and you don't see it happen, but the wife dies from childbirth, and you kind of like get her perspective as like being dead, and she's dead along with her husband's mother and like some other people, and they're all talking about life and death and stuff, and like you know there's a scene where she's allowed to go back and kind of like witness something that happened in her life, and she chooses her 12th birthday, and everybody else who's dead is like you don't want to do that, and and she goes and she sees, and it's like damn, like it's so hard to see that and not be able to do anything about it once you're not there, and like you see her commenting on because she can still see the living people going and mourning at her grave, and she's talking about, and the other dead people are talking about how like the alive people don't get it, and there's comments about how like every single moment, every single personal endeavor that you choose in life and personal fixation and anything you do is so selfishly meaningless, when like the perspective of the dead is that like, and I think like the most important thing, and I'm not like doing anything crazy here. I think it was meant to really hit hard. Is like her husband is sitting there like sobbing at her grave at her tombstone, and all she can say is that he just doesn't get it. Even that moment of him mourning her death is a moment of like selfish, meaningless waste because like he has the opportunity to go live those moments that like anybody who's dead would do anything
Oh
to be a part of
God.
again.
That's pretty
I don't know.
profound, bro. That's pretty profound.
Yeah, dude, I honestly like I haven't really fully processed everything. It's such a fucking like it hits you in the face hard. Like afterward, Allison was crying and like we were just like sitting outside of the theater and like I was like we need to keep moving here. Like I haven't thought this through yet. Like I can't be
Dude, that's
I just still like I said, dude, that's kind of like how I'm sitting with it. But like I haven't really I don't know. I just don't know what to do with it quite yet, but it's all
dude,
those thoughts,
media like that with those kind of thoughts of like, oh, like everything's kind of meaningless or whatever. It's just like, dude, after you watch something like that, you're always like, damn, like how do I fucking proceed?
Uh-huh. I definitely don't think like, it hits you over the head with how meaningless some stuff is, but I obviously don't think the message is that like nothing matters, I think that's I guess it's an interpretation, but that's not the way I'm taking it. I guess it's not the way I like to think about stuff. It's
It's
sort of go ahead.
I was gonna say that it kind of gives me a similar themes to like to Everything Everywhere because I know they were really kind of banging over the head like the nothing really matters, but in
Yeah,
a different way, not from like a dead perspective, more of just like a whatever, like there's so many different worlds or whatever, like blah blah blah, just like live the one that you're living type
yeah.
vibe.
I definitely think that like it's touching on nihilism a little bit, right? Where it's like, nothing totally. Let me look up like the core foundation of nihilism because, as far as I'm concerned, nihilism is just like, there's nothing to anything. A philosophical viewpoint that rejects fundamental aspects of human existence, such as mortality, knowledge, or meaning. Um, all values are baseless and nothing can be known or communicated is often extreme pessimism. Here's the thing, like I guess I would consider myself a nihilist in the sense that like I don't think anything is like really nothing like I don't think anything is based off anything. I think it's all kind of a bunch of malarkey at the end of the day. Like and I suppose part of that comes from like me not really having a super strong foundation for like religion or anything. But it doesn't mean that I think everything is dumb and that like nothing matters and makes sense and like makes a difference. You know, like I do think that things are so like the fact that we've made these things up, the fact that we do like have core beliefs is so incredible in so many ways, and like the fact that we're here is so beautiful. And I don't think that like religion is dumb. I think religion is beautiful in its own way as well. You know, so like you know what I like? Do you know what I mean about like Because I don't think that there's anything going on after we're here. I don't think there's anything more than what we are. You know, like people will talk about believing in a higher power, believing in a greater purpose, believing in things like that. I'm not really about that business. Doesn't mean that I don't think that like there's so much to be had. I guess you know what I mean. I honestly have had that that issue with that juxtaposition of those two kind of like belief systems because I feel like when you talk about these things and when I talk about these things and I just don't really believe a whole lot in terms of more going on. I will typically get the response of like, "Oh, you're so jaded. Oh, you're so nihilist." But like, I don't feel that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't think you are jaded though. Because I feel like having the ability to like recognize that being like a religious thing or just like having faith in something is like a good thing. Like having the ability to understand that, I think like already just like puts you a leg up from like somebody who's like truly jaded. You do not give me jaded vibes at all, bro.
No, dude. I honestly like.
Because you would be way more miserable in your day-to-day life if
Yeah,
you were that jaded.
I think life rocks, dude. I think life totally rocks. But
Yeah,
I
you're a
don't think it
pretty
rock.
happy person.
I don't think it rocks for any particular reason. It just rocks because it does, and like that's cool.
Yeah, no, I mean,
But if you believe and like, dude, you're just totally fucking inclined to, and like if you want to, that's fucking great. There's no reason not to. If you believe that we're rocking here for a particular reason, fuck yeah, dude. Why not? Like, it doesn't bother me.
yeah,
I
I
don't care.
mean, I feel like that's like true with so many things of like if it doesn't bother other people, like do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, it is. Should I be? And nah, I'm not gonna get down that hole. But yeah, the play is totally thought provoking and
That
like
sounds
totally
good.
totally
That
cool in a lot
sounds
of ways.
really good.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it, especially. I do think that the matter of fact delivery of so many things I think would really touch you in a fun way. So if you ever
It's
see Our Town playing near you,
what's like the like is it like mostly you're looking at it from like a dead person's perspective
no,
or
that's just in the third act.
oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, you just yeah, no one's dead until the end. Um, through the first two acts, it's just kind of them being in this small town and like messing around a little bit. And you meet the two main characters ish who end up getting married and like they're in high school or whatever, and you kind of watch them like you watch like the first time they knew they were in love, right? And like and she talks about like
Oh,
when she's like dead and she's talking to the other dead souls and she's like, I want to go back to when I knew that we were in love, and everybody was like, you don't want to do that. It's a horrible idea, because when she's witnessing her 12th birthday, she's, doing the thing of like, she can watch it happen, but she can't directly interact with anybody. Well, she can, and I thought that was actually really cool. Like she's like in the scene, but like when she tries to say like, "Hey, mom, like look at me, I'm right here," her mom doesn't react. But when like her mom was like, "Hey, your eggs are right here," or whatever the fuck she's cooking breakfast, and like she responds in a normal way of like, "Oh yeah, like thanks for making this." She's like, "Yeah, no problem, sweetie." Like, it's like I don't know. I still have some thoughts. I have some thoughts to sort. I have some thoughts to sort through about the play for sure. So it's just really cool. I think you'd like it.
yeah, I would
Definitely,
love it, dude. It sounds damn good.
yeah. It definitely spurs some thoughts about life and death and what we're doing. It is a little unsettling. It does make you think twice about like sitting on the couch on Sundays and watching football and gambling. But
Isn't that what you're about to do?
yeah, I'm about to do it anyway.
You
So
know,
I guess it
that
doesn't
TV
fucking
right over
matter.
your what is that? Your right shoulder is gonna have some Packers on soon.
Yeah, this is gonna have Packers for the girlfriend's family. I'm probably gonna have Red Zone right here. We're gonna. I've already got it planned out. But yeah, dude. I mean, it's just like does those kind of thoughts like motivate me to want to be more active in the things that like truly quote unquote matter? Of course, it makes you feel like you want to do more. But at the end of the day, and like I've talked about this and I've kind of somewhat accepted this for my time in my life right now, is that like what's meaningful to me is just like enjoying myself and having good times with the people that I care about. And like that's totally enough to me right now. Maybe at some point I'll have a crisis where I feel like I need to create something or whatever. But for right now, dude,
Yeah,
I'm okay.
like if you feel like satisfied in those things, there's obviously no need to like switch it up or like
Yeah, yeah. It does make me worry that if I'm like, older, reflecting, dying and stuff, am I going to be like, what the hell was I doing? And I don't know. I don't think so,
I feel like a
but
lot of old people get to that point though. I
yeah,
just like by default, like not like even if you the people that like live insanely like productive lives or whatever, I think like even them to a certain degree are always like, oh, well now I wish I did this or I wish I did that. Like I feel like when you get to that deathbed type time of your life, you're always going to be thinking like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done that. And then I feel like that kind of stuff is always like pushed onto your kids. What do you think
yeah.
about that?
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely.
Like all of the experiences you wish you had or didn't have, like you want your kid to have those experiences, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's only natural, I feel. Of course. Yeah, I think that's definitely a big thing. I mean, just in general, I mean, like every parent pushes certain things on their kids, like even if like it's subliminally, right?
Oh yeah.
Like I mean, if I had a kid, I would want them to behave certain ways or like, treat people certain ways for sure. I mean, well, to some extent, it's like treating people kindly isn't like a thing you're forcing on your kid, but like, I mean, I would want my kid to vote Harris Walls. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, definitely. What I think is funny is that like whether you fucking do your best to avoid it, you're gonna end up in that fucking deathbed one way or another, right? So fucking congrats if you fucking sprinted there. I don't know. Like, don't know what to say. That's kind
Dude,
of the thing is it's like the fact that it is just like so inevitable. It kind of like I mean we can talk about it till the cows don't come home, right? It's gonna change.
no, not at all.
So like
Sometimes I just wish I was Flaubert, like in the middle of two couch cushions, like really comfortable.
wow, he's comfy as shit. Look at these two.
I wish, dude, I was a cat sometimes.
Part of me just likes to joke that like by the time we're dying, they're gonna have like AI that just like simulates our brain, and we're essentially gonna live forever. So like
I
whatever.
hope so, bro. I hope so.
You want to be immortalized with AI?
Um, I would want to be immortalized if I also had the opportunity to like be like, okay, enough's enough. Like I don't want it to be like come at
No,
the
you're
cost.
gone. You can't control that
Wait, then how am I immortal?
because they have like essentially like a clone of you that like is you and looks like you and acts like you.
And he can't
But
just say like enough's enough.
well, if your clone would do that, then yeah. Thing
Well,
is, like
I think a lot of people would want to be like live longer than they're expected to.
for sure. But like I can tell you for a fact, I'm way, way, way too self-absorbed for my clone to ever say enough's enough. I'm gonna live forever if it's possible. So
Yeah, right? Like I feel like that's like obvious.
yeah, but what? You think that you're gonna at some point be like, all right, enough's enough, I'm out of this thing?
Yeah, I think I would get to a point like that. Well, I think I would get to a point like that if I felt like I didn't have any like obligations to any humans. Like once I get to that point, I feel like I'd be like, all right,
My
because
clone, sorry, go
I
ahead.
feel like you would always have somebody in your life that would want you to be around longer. And like, but if you
Shit, I
ever,
hope
if
so.
I, dude, if I ever had somebody, or if I ever had like nobody in my life that wanted me around longer, I'd be like, okay, like enough's enough for me.
Yeah.
That would be like definitely a breaking point.
Can you imagine like it's like 23,000? It's like clone us are still around yapping.
Oh God, on the flame side, bro.
Yeah, the elections around the corner. It's clone Harris Walls
Our
versus
views haven't our
clone
views haven't
Trump
changed
baby.
at all.
We're just talking about the same shit.
It's just
Talking
Gino's
about
immortal clone
yeah.
listening to us and Scott.
God God.
Scott's like, oh, a new episode of the Flameside for the 100th fucking time. Let's go.
Yeah.
He
I
was
mean,
ex he was excited for the episode last week.
that's good. That's good. Keep them coming, bro.
Why did Allison's parents want to know about our views? Did they expect us to like be killing it?
No, I think he was just curious.
I was kind of surprised to see our YouTube had our first ever episode has 40 views on YouTube. I think that's like kind of insane.
Well, yeah, that's good stuff, bro. We're on the up and up. What I thought he was, Allison's dad was telling me a funny story about how he's getting some of his coworkers to watch some of our episodes sometimes, apparently. So
Oh shit.
we might need to shift our vibe here to cater more towards the working man or woman. So you know, fuck, dude, Monday morning, gotta go to work.
And they fucking turn on the flame side. Do you ever listen to the episodes?
Do I ever listen to them?
Yeah.
Typically, no. I don't like to hear myself talk.
Yeah, I was when we started, I was like listening to all of them, but lately I haven't been like checking them out like in full length. Like I'll check them out, but I won't listen to the full thing.
Yeah, I get bad like secondhand embarrassment. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's there's this thing where like you always will notice your own mistakes more than like somebody else will notice them.
Yeah, but I
I
that's
mean, not
tough.
that I'm not saying you need to be listening to every episode of the Flame Side. You're a part of it, bro. You don't really need to listen to it.
Dude, I honestly think, not to switch topics here at all, but like I do think one of my greatest faults as a person is like I'm really bad at dealing with like failing or like not doing something well. Have I talked about this before?
I feel like not in like that direct of a way, but like maybe just like in passing of you talking about certain things. Like I've gathered that.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't handle like losing well. I don't handle any of that well. Um, and I'm trying to get better at it, but I think that it definitely shows up in a few different weird ways. I think a reason why I'm like so hooked on sports gambling is that like whenever I lose in anything, I have this like insane urge to like win. So it doesn't really go well with gambling because you're gonna fucking lose sometimes, of course. And like having the idea that like you need to like do something better to win is like not helpful when you need to have like a pretty refined, consistent approach to it.
Oh
But
yeah.
it comes in with a lot of things. Like I mean, you've played like video games with me, you know how I get. Played sports with me, you know how I get. I don't
Yeah,
like
you know,
losing, bro.
if we drop an Overwatch game, like you're ready to go for the next one. Like
Oh
let's
my
go.
god. Oh yeah, dude. I don't like losing. I wonder, like, people will talk about how like that comes from you know being bro. I remember when I was like 11 years old or something, and they started the gifted and talented program in my elementary school, and my mom really pushed me to be a part of that. And I mean, of course I'm not saying I'm sure any parent would want to push their kid towards that, but I do think that there's a certain level of impact you're going to have on children by telling them they're gifted and talented at 10 years old. I feel like that's just not a good idea. Like,
So what like you think like it has like an effect of like those kids will like want to like continue to like be like
I,
noted
I
as gifted and talented?
yeah, I think that like you're told that you're super fucking special and your shit doesn't smell when you're 10 years old, and like then you're kind of you're expecting yourself and you're expected to do everything really well because that's what you are, right? You're gifted and talented. Of course, it's not fucking true. You fucking little 10-year-old twerp.
I would
So
see.
like,
I had a very opposite experience to that. They were not telling me I'm gifted and talented in
what
school,
were they
bro.
telling you? Hit the books.
Dude, my fucking my fucking third grade teacher wanted me to get into like the special needs courses.
Oh man.
I still don't like her to this day, man.
Well, dude, it's like it's so tough because I mean we were talking about my girlfriend's Allison's sister's kid. I don't know if they want me talking about this, but they were talking about how like in their class they're like assigning reading levels to each kid. I think he's in kindergarten, and it's like I get it to some extent. Like you want like, kids to be learning at a pace that like makes sense for them, right? Like the kids who are, maybe they're just naturally better at reading. We want to push them with like maybe more challenging material. But I do think there's a certain level of like, hey, I gave this kid a fifth grade reading level and I gave this other kid in the same class, like this kid can't read for shit. It's like that's not really like a good way to classify, But like I don't know what the solution is because I do think that like yeah, you want to push people who have the ability to go further, but it's really hard to not set up a really unfair balance of like making kids feel like shit, you know what I mean? Like
I was
it's tough.
upset, bro, in third grade
I
because like
bet.
my teacher was saying like to my parents that like I was having like I needed more time to like copy shit down from the board to like whatever my paper, and it's just like, dude, I thought that shit was so stupid. Like I was a third grader, and like I just like when I think back to like being in that class, it's like, dude, I wasn't even like all there. Like,
Uh-huh.
give
Yeah,
me
you're fucking 8, dude.
give me
Like
a fucking break, bro. Like I even like going into like fourth and fifth grade, I got like so much better, and it's just like I was told that like I needed to be in like some special class of like, you know, or just like get me like I forgot what it's called, but there's like those things where you can get where you can like take tests longer and like
mhm.
there's like all those sorts of things that you can get for kids when they're young, but it's like I remember being so fucking bitter about that.
Yeah, I bet, bro. I bet it makes every kid feel like shit when, they come home and, teacher told them they fucking can't read and teacher told them they can't fucking sit still. Like, I don't know. I think maybe we gotta push back the age of where we start like doing that, I think until kids are like, maybe like in their fucking tweens, up until then, let's all just treat them like they're a bunch of snot-nosed fucking brats and they're
Because
all in
that's
the
what
same
they
spot.
are for the most part, bro.
Yeah, dude. Like, yeah, like you said, I mean, people are going to change so drastically in those years, Like, I don't
Dude,
know.
I have a crazy story to share from my fifth grade year. So
Hmm.
I was really tight with this kid, this kid Mason, and I remember I forget what we did to get punished, but like we weren't allowed to go to recess that day. We had to stay in the class and do like work.
Hmm.
And I remember I overheard my teacher, like the teacher assistant, like kind of like bad mouthing my boy Mason, and she did not think like anybody heard it.
Hmm.
And I went and told Mason that I heard the teacher like bad mouthing him,
Yikes.
and that got back to my teacher. Because like I think Mason must have like told his parents, and his parents must have like told the teacher, and it got back to me, and I got punished, dude. I got like detention for like the whole week
What?
because I ratted him out because they were talking shit about my boy Mason.
Did your parents hear about that?
Yes, dude. I
Did
still
they
talk
fucking
about.
raise hell?
Dude, they were pissed. They were
Oh,
pissed.
I
I mean,
bet.
I just served the detentions though. Like they didn't like get me out of it or anything. But dude, I remember like I literally heard them talking shit about Mason and like how he was like not a good student or whatever. And I told him,
Yeah,
and
that's
then it,
bullshit.
dude, and then it got back to me. I was so upset back in the day, dude.
I'm surprised your mom didn't ruin somebody's fucking day over that. That's crazy. She must
Dude.
have been busy.
She surely was though. She surely was with five
Oh, I'm
kiddos.
sure, yeah. That's yeah, dude. But that's the thing is like I somewhat had like a similar ish experience of like teachers getting pissed at kids for like doing kid shit and like honestly they were probably in the wrong and it's a little bit pathetic. So I don't know, dude. The kids just need to be kids and we need to worry about the fucking pressure and shit later on. I feel
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
we got sub 1 minute on the clock here.
Sub 1 minute. All right. Well, let's give
Mhm.
some closing thoughts for the flame side for the flame side listeners.
Yeah.
Let's crush this week, guys.
Let's crush this week. At the end of the day, bro, whatever you believe in, nothing's gonna change tomorrow morning. Give it your best. No, it's not. Nothing matters. But that's why you got to give it your best. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Uh, try your best. Have you ever heard of the four agreements?
No.
You know, you be impeccable with your word. Always try your best. Don't take things personally. And I forgot the fourth one.
Let's go, baby. The four agreements.
The four
That's something I
agreements.
can agree on.
Wait, I have the book too for you
You
guys.
got 8 seconds, bro.
All right, Flameside listeners, read this book. Love you guys. Bye.
Love
Thanks
y'all.
for
Read it
tuning
up.
in.